I'm not gonna put any fancy edits in this video. It's just gonna be you and me. You clicked on this video for a reason. Now, I'm gonna tell you, if animals being in pain or anything like that, if that disturbs you, get out right now. I'll give you the count of 3. Get out of here, okay? There, you can see better. 3, 2, 1. You better be gone by now. I will filter some things, like what exactly was going on with pain or whatever. Because honestly, I just don't want to think about it anymore. I'm just trying to get this off my chest and show people the reality of what it's like to live with a crazy cat lady. Anyway, let's start our journey when I was just a wee little baby. Just a little guy. So, when I was a baby, I was always surrounded by cats. And I still have a fondness for them to this day. Like, as of recording this video yesterday, I went to a cat cafe and I was with some cats. And so I had this cat that I was fond of. It was one of the late childhood cats that we had. Her name was Lucy. I made a post about her on my Instagram when she passed away, but so one of my roommates has a 3D printer, and I printed this in her honor. She was a little black cat, absolutely obsessed with me, and had a big mouth. And when she passed away, it felt like the world got a little quieter. But moving on. When I was living in an apartment, when I was like 3, all the way up to like 5 years old, October of that year, like 2006, I want to say. October 2006, I was 5 years old. Yeah. So we moved out of an apartment. And in that apartment, we had like 3, maybe 5 cats. But the second we moved into that house, the number went from like 5 cats to like right before I moved out into this current house that I'm in. It was all the way up until like around the 30s. So, and if there are any, people who run shelters in here or work in shelters, it's a hassle to maintain that many animals, and very expensive. We didn't have a lot of money at the time. My mom, it was just me and my brother, aside from all these cats, and like 5 dogs that we had throughout my time with her. Then it was very expensive. And my mom, she didn't work, relied on food stamps, Social Security, and child support payments from my dad. And that was our flow of income until my brother went to college, and then she went to college as well. And we started getting like grants or whatever they're called, like student loans. It's not student loans because I don't think they owe them any money. But that was our source of income, and all the way up until the college years with my mom and my brother, and when me and my brother got jobs. Um, as time went on, she started to care less and less for the cats. And even from like as far back from even from the apartment days, we were taking care of them. Like I think we changed out the litter boxes, if I remember correctly. Sometimes we would give them food. I don't remember the exact details, but I do remember that we would always change them litter boxes. And when you have like well over 5 cats or whatever, it's not just expensive, it gets dirty too. They would pee and poo everywhere. They would get into the cabinets, pee and poop in there on like boxed food. They would do it on the dishes in the cabinets as well. They would They would pee on the stovetop as well. They would even sometimes go into the Keurig and poop in there. But but she wouldn't clean it up. It was always me and my brother. And then when we got jobs, we were paying for like litter, boxes, vet bills, all of that. And even when I was a teenager, I just thought of all I could think about was just how unfair it was. And the more the time went on, the less she started caring about us. And more so the health of these cats and keeping them alive for as long as possible. And even though we were the ones maintaining them. And there's this one cat in particular. I'm not going to give out any details of what was going on with him. But he was our first cat in that apartment. And he came with us when we moved out, along with the other 2 to 4. Something happened, and with like his paw, or like the one of the legs or whatever. It's one of the front paws. I remember that. It kept getting worse and worse as time went on. And my mom, she did everything she could to keep him alive, no matter how much pain he was in. And all I could think about during that time, it was all just about how much pain he was in. And I just thought of how cruel it was. And the thing is that if a cat just so much as jumps out of my hands and lands a little funny, she'll get mad at me and call me an abuser. But she will keep her cat in pain for as long as she possibly could before finally putting him to rest. If you want to talk about unfair, here's an example. But yeah, and she had like a boatload of problems, physically, mentally. If we were to so much as slightly question her method of doing things or her authority or anything like that, she would literally explode in a fit of anger. And she would do everything that she possibly could to paint us as bad guys, especially me, because I was a bit of a rebel at that time. And should have called somebody. I should have called somebody when I found out what was actually happening. And it's not just animal control either. I should have called CPS, because that house was, this is water, by the way, that house was literally, it should have been condemned with how filthy it was. And in almost every room except for 2 of them, they always had a cat in it. That would have been the playroom, which eventually became a storage room, where my mom just threw a bunch of crud in there. It was an entire mess. I think we even had we may have had a rat in there. I don't know. It's just I saw something in there one time when she sent me in there to go clean it out, or like to tidy it up or whatever. She sent me in there, and I saw something moving in there. I couldn't figure out what it was. All I saw was like this. It was either like a leg on a big insect, or it was a rat tail. All I know is that as soon as I saw that, I immediately left. And we did have a rat at one point in the laundry room. And I don't know what happened to it. I think we got it out. I don't know. Got out safely. But that house should have been condemned. And me and my brother, we should have been in the hands of Child Protective Services, and those cats been relocated to good homes. It's a mess. It's a entire mess. But, and you know, when you're a kid and you start, and sometimes, my mom would say, like, hey, these people are bad, when they're actually the good guys. If you have to say that to your kid, like, oh, the police are bad, or no, Child Protective Services, they're bad people, they'll take you away and put you somewhere you don't like, or oh, animal control, they'll take away Buster or something like that, as an example, then you're a bad parent. I'm just gonna say that right now. You say that to your kid, you're a bad parent. And if you hurt animals the way my mother did, you deserve to go to jail. You deserve to go to jail for a long time. And if that don't work, you don't deserve to be in the presence of animals at that point. You deserve to rot in a cell. I think that's all I got. There you go. Most of it's on my chest. But let's look at some positives, shall we? Ever since I moved out, I've I've really, come to appreciate these animals, you know. And it's not just that either. My mom was very restrictive on what I could do. And I've developed hobbies. Like I bought a grill. And this stuff right here is for lighting up charcoal. I keep it in here because occasionally my roommate's siblings, they come over here. And I don't want them to get in possession of something dangerous. But, I got into airsofting or playing airsoft, whatever you want to call it. I personally call it playing airsoft. Um, you know, I've met bands that inspired me. I even met a YouTuber at one point. That was really cool. But so there's my story. And I'll say this again. If you hurt animals the way my mother did, you deserve to rot in a cell for the rest of your life. Okay? That's it. I'm not even gonna bother with an outro.